state your name for the record.
Good evening. I'm Mark A. Johnson of Yorkville. I'm here tonight to make a request to the City Council. I'd like you to give direction to the city staff to do their due diligence when developers come to the city asking for help developing properties, and we start giving away things that may end up costing the taxpayers down the road. Maybe this belongs back to the Planning and Zoning Board or other committees, but someone should be required to do the research. I couldn't spend the time looking into every development that hits the city, although some of you may think that that's all I do. I usually only get involved when it affects my family, my friends, and my neighbors. Two properties in question tonight are the Blackberry Wood subdivision and what was known as Midco Northgate Yorkville, LLC. I'm involved with Blackberry Woods since one of my sons built their dream home there, and the other because a longtime friend's property connects to the development, and he is trying to sell his property. First, the Midco Northgate property. It's located at Galena Road and Route 47. Appears to be a great intersection to develop. Seems the City Council approved the project in September of 2009. What I found by doing research on the internet is that several of the partners had split up in July of 2009. And foreclosure proceedings had begun on several properties they were involved in. I questioned the development at the time, but it wasn't a priority to pursue. I have now done it because I'm trying to find the owners to see if my friend can sell their property to a developer. Appears the LLCs are no longer in good standing with the state or are in voluntary dissolution. If anyone would have done their due diligence back then, these questions on financial viability would have been asked. It may not have changed anything, but it might have saved the city a lot of money doing all the engineering work that was needed, at least from what I saw in the records online. I will read a few excerpts from Chicago's Real Estate Daily, which is part of Crane's Chicago Business, dated July 29, 2009. Remember that the City Council approved this development September 22nd, 2009, 2 months after this was published. Purcell and Bossy going separate ways. The two principals behind one of the area's best-known suburban retail development firms are splitting up, making Mid-America Development Partners, LLC, a notable casualty of the recession that's devastated the retail industry. Mid-America was at the point where we have a lot of debt, and it didn't make any sense to continue to move forward in the same vein we are going. We got out over our skis with the number of deals we did with the staff that we had. The credit crunch began in 2007, worsened, and made it nearly impossible for new developments to get started. David and Michael, that's Purcell and Bossy, are certainly two of the brighter guys in the business and among better-known developers out there. But if you're building anything taller than a fire hydrant nowadays, you've got your hands full. Anything under development in the last couple of years is upside down. Now Mr. Bossy says he has 2 new ventures in the works. Seems like this was one of them, but wouldn't disclose details. He's also busy moving to a new location at Jory Boulevard, a small office building that recently had to be given back to the lender, Guardian Life Insurance Company. We did a lot of good work, but these are difficult times. I am moving forward with new, fresh ideas. That was out of the Crane's Chicago Business 2 months before Yorkville approved this outfit. The second one tonight is Blackberry Woods. This subdivision was in bankruptcy 2 years ago this month. Crestview Builders came in and bought it. I stood before this council and Mayor Byrd to slow down the approval of the developer on the same night as a public hearing. This council has since made an ordinance to not allow any vote on the same night as the public hearing. By delaying the approval that night, it made the developer come back and sweeten the pot before they got what they wanted. They promised to rebuild the entrance road. They promised to destroy all the cattails in the ponds and reseed with plants and flowers. They did take care of the drainage issue from the courthouse grounds that runs right through the ponds and out to Blackberry Creek. 1 out of 3 isn't good, and based on staff comments that I've recently received, it doesn't look like our city will make them live up to their promises either. I certainly hope the next buyer will follow through and the city won't just give these promises away. We have been told that Blackberry Woods is again on the market after the developer only built one model home, which didn't sell for nearly 2 years. And this home had to be discounted heavily to even get sold. Word has it that they may be trying to sell the subdivision at a break-even at best. Another new home is being built as we speak in Blackberry Woods by the original developer who had to give the subdivision up 2 years ago through a bank sale by Castle Bank. I guess developers somehow find a way to resurrect themselves these days to come back for more. I could bring up several other development properties that fit the same set of scenarios around our city, but I won't do that right now. Too many developers have bailed out and left a void in our city. What I will ask is that the city council require the staff or committees make someone accountable to doing the city of Yorkville's due diligence with every developer coming into our city. If they are partners with others and are in over their heads or are in financial problems, why should our city take all this risk on? It didn't take much for me to find the owners of record. Look up the LLCs or corporations, examine the names of the principals, find out who their partners are, and do the research to find who is having difficulties or who are embroiled in litigation somewhere else. I'm just asking the city to make someone accountable to check every developer out before approving anything. I'm afraid our city has taken the word of the developers or their attorney way too often in the past. Our city spent a lot of money in engineering work and staff time on these when they may have been better utilized on other city concerns. Could something have been done to make sure our city didn't spend a lot of time and money on this type of development? Maybe not. I'm only asking that the city look into holding someone, a single person, accountable for protecting the city from potential problems. If I can find these concerns, then staff should be able to. My request is about protecting the city and the tax-paying citizens, not about stopping development. We all know we need development. Let's find the ones that are truly sincere in helping build our city and have the financial ability to do it. We pay a lot of money to YEDC to bring in development. I'm not saying that they should be the one doing the city's due diligence. That would be like a fox guarding a hen house. But maybe we can hold someone accountable to validate developers' feasibility before we get in too deep. I'd love to see accountability for all the developers, and even for the groups like YEDC, who say they bring in all of this development to our city. Do we hold anyone accountable anymore for what they say they will do or what they actually do? Thank you.
Any other citizen comment? Hearing none, we'll
Milszewski. Aye. Teeling.
Aye.
Okay. Next is the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second. Roll call, please.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Milszewski.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Munns.
Aye.
Funkhauser.
Aye.
Gilson. Teeling.
Aye.
Pat.
Aye.
I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular city council for March 27th, 2012, April 10th, 2012, as presented. So moved.
Second.
Comments, questions, corrections on minutes? Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just one minor one on April 10th, page 3. The first big paragraph, about halfway through it, let's see, probably about 10 lines down, it should say, now the people who attend the public hearing will not know the specifics of what, and the word is they that's in there, should be we, meaning the city council, are voting on. That's all I have.
Any other comments on minutes? Okay, so all in favor of approving minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to mayor's report. I have a number of appointments to boards and commissions to make. All of these are reappointments except one new appointment to the park board. Dan Lane is being proposed for the park board. So I have one motion for all of these appointments. I will go ahead and read that off. I will entertain a motion to approve the mayor's appointments of Mike Anderson to the Fire and Police Commission, Carol LaChance, Beth Gambrill, and Judy Summerlot to the Library Board, Dan Lane to the Park Board, Mike Crouch to the Planning Commission as a school board representative, Todd Overmeyer to the Police Pension Fund Board, Jeff Baker, Mike Skinner, and Don Hirsch to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions on the appointments? Roll call, please.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Funkhauser.
Aye.
Milszewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Pat.
Aye.
Munns.
Okay, moving on. We have the River Road Bridge second intergovernmental agreement and another long motion. I'll entertain a motion to repeal the motion of March 13, 2012, approving a second intergovernmental agreement for the replacement of the River Road Bridge over Blackberry Creek, Yorkville, Illinois, and instead approve the revised second intergovernmental agreement as presented to this meeting, along with an ordinance approving the second intergovernmental agreement for the replacement of the River Road Bridge over Blackberry Creek, Yorkville, Illinois, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute. So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions on this? I know Park was working on a red line copy that the council had asked for last time, and it was near impossible. The agreement is pretty much the same thing that we've had before. The words are moved around, but there's no material differences. So if you have any questions on it? No questions? We'll go roll call vote then.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Funkhauser.
Aye.
Milszewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Pat.
Aye.
Munns.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, next is the ordinance for electric aggregation. I'll entertain a motion to approve an ordinance authorizing aggregation of electrical load and adopting an electric aggregation plan of operation and governance, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved.
Second. Comments or questions on that?
I think that this was brought up the last time we discussed it. This is not going to require the smart meters, is it?
Correct.
Okay. I just want that documented.
Now, is this the only ordinance we have to do on this, or is there another one coming?
We do this, we go out to bid actually tomorrow, and then after the bids are received, contractors reviewed, and the vendor selected, we'll have to approve the actual contract. So, we still have a couple more steps before residents see the electricity bill. So.
Yeah, I'm voting no on this, and I've voted all along, on the electrical aggregation. So people know why I'm voting no. I do not like any provision where it requires you to, it forces you to join it, and requires you to opt out. I think that's not really what people like. I think it's confusing. There's deadlines, people miss the deadlines, so they're stuck into this plan. And that's the only real issue I have. I don't like anything that forces you to join, and then you have to opt out if you want to opt out. So that's why I'm voting for that.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I think that, I chose a different provider on my own, and I agree if they didn't have to opt out of it at a certain time, then I would think
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Von Counselor,
Nay.
Bilszewski,
Aye.
Teeling,
Nay.
Hot,
Aye.
Munns,
Aye.
Spears,
Nay.
Colosimo,
Nay.
Empty time.
Score down.
So it fails. Okay, that's surprising. Okay. So we're done with aggregation then, correct?
We can't go out to bid until, the aggregation plan is approved.
Okay.
I got a question.
Yes.
Okay, someone said the opportunity to switch over with this other company, but there was a discount, which we already did, that was separate from that, right?
Yes, anybody is allowed to.
I already switched, it don't matter.
Correct.
I don't know, looking at opt out.
Yeah, you're automatically excluded from this.
Okay. Moving on then. We have an ITEP grant application in here. There's no ordinance or no required folks staff are looking for direction on whether or not to apply for this grant. The grant is for street pedestrian lighting along Route 47. It was supposed to go to EDC. EDC was canceled, so it went straight to City Council. Comments or questions, or Marty want to give a little background on this?
Well, I just had to move it to the city council, and know a little bit about grants, so we'll just discuss it once.
Laura, do you want to give us a little background? We're just lining in, I know, from like downtown, south.
Sure, I'll try to talk about it. To explain, ITEP grants don't just cover trails. You can actually, they have a variety they have about 12 different categories. So one of them is landscaping and other scenic beautification. And the Route 47 project, the street lights and pedestrian lighting would be part of that. Now, as part of the Route 47 project, they're taking out the lights, and there will be a light at Van Emmen, Fox, and Salmonok. But other than that, all of the street lighting along 47 is not going back in. So this grant would give us an opportunity to reduce the cost of the lighting to the city to either 50/50 or 80/20. We're still working with the state to determine how much of the lighting can be at 80/20, because we do know that pedestrian lighting is at 80/20. And these are combo lights, so they're both street and pedestrian. So, we're attempting to ask if all of it can be 80/20, but it might just be a portion of it. I did give some numbers in there of what we're estimating right now. What we're asking for is whether or not you want us to proceed with this application, because EEI actually does, they help us at no cost, as they did with the Kennedy Road grant, and the staff time to prepare it. So we just want direction on whether or not you agree with this, and if we should move forward at this time on this application.
As part of the 47 project, they're putting in the bases for those lights, correct?
Correct.
So eventually, the city's going to have to put lighting in.
Right.
Oh. Bases.
Right, on our own timeline. They'll have all the electrical there, and the bases will be there, and the bases will be for the lighting that's included, the drawing that's included in the packet. It's already, approved, so this would be to finalize that. We did also include some benches and planters, perennials, just to dress up the downtown area. So, and there's also a map included that shows the area and all the lights that we would be looking to include in this grant.
And if we apply for the grant and receive the grant, what is the timeline to move forward with lighting? I mean, you're talking a couple of years at least, right?
Correct. With our last grant, We were supposed to have a year to accept it, and then once that starts, it takes a year for preliminary engineering and beyond. So it does take time once we actually accept the grant and tell the state that we're moving forward. Then again, it's another year or two before we actually see things moving forward.
Okay.
When will we know for sure what our share will be though? So I have a hard time voting on someone I don't know exactly what we're committing to.
That's what we were going to have that finalized by the 22nd. When we bring the resolution back, we would have the numbers finalized at that time. But right now, we're just, our estimate is 397,000 is what we're thinking our maximum would be. So at this time, it's just whether or not you want us to continue talking with the state, working with the EI, and if you want us to pursue this, knowing that it could be up to that amount. It could be that amount or less.
I voiced my opinion on applying for grants and committing the city on an amount at $397,000. I cannot support that. We have so many priorities in the city. I don't think benches, trash cans, and planters. And the lighting I think is very important, but I believe that we have taken it out of the Route 47 project because we stated we didn't have the money. And now, we're going to apply for a grant and commit the city to another $300,000 for the same things that we asked to be removed. So I cannot support this.
And just for clarification purposes, if we don't approve this, we're still going to have lighting. It's just going to be the standard lighting versus the fancy lighting.
There's no lighting.
No, they don't take them all out.
You have no lighting.
The three lights will be at Man, Fox, and Sound.
On the premise.
Right.
But no street lights?
Correct.
None whatsoever.
Okay.
So on our diagram that we have, the three intersections with the green lights, those are it. Those are the combination light mass. They have mass on them and they are the pedestrian light.
Correct.
All the blue dots are the ones we're referring to here in the 397,000 or 317 bank house structure. So those are the proposed lights that we're looking at are the standard pedestrian light. Now, when this came through, is Route 47 and we denied that? Are we looking at this being a potential savings in terms of what we are getting in terms of grants as compared to the 80-20 split or 50-50 split we would have had with the Route 47 project? Is there a benefit to us with the ITEP grant?
With the IDOT project, they were not going to fund any of these components at all. So this is a 50-50 split, which is better than what we would have gotten from IDOT, which was at nothing.
And with everything that's in here, it's $740,000 plus for streetlights and $137 and change for the decorative elements, the benches, planters, etc. Clarify that those.
Yes, sir.
Just a question, is this like the grants, like just because we apply for it, we don't necessarily have to utilize it, or if we apply for it and they approve us, we have to take it?
Correct. There's still a grant agreement afterwards that you have to approve or deny. So like the ITEP bike path grant for Kennedy Road, if we would have denied it, as far as we're aware, there would have been no statutory penalty for rejecting the agreement.
How long does this grant process takes?
It's about a year to notification, and then with this last one, I mean, it was between notification and actual agreement approval, it was a year and a half. So that was with the 6-month extension and everything you recall. But in general, it's probably a 2-year process before you actually get to the point where you have to make a decision on the grant agreement itself.
I'm torn here because obviously it's a lot of money, but obviously I don't want the downtown area to have any lighting. And we're trying to promote the downtown, we're trying to promote people coming to the downtown, walking through the downtown. I mean, that's kind of our focus here. I mean, is it option A or B and there's no C? Is there a less decorative? I mean, they're beautiful lights. The pictures that you guys put in here, they're gorgeous. Is is there maybe a not so gorgeous option? So we
Yeah,
can get the lighting.
you can always downgrade the quality of the streetlights. Laura or Eric might be able to talk to what the price savings would be. This is what we dictated in our item.
Right, I recall.
Not only in the ITEP plan, but this was also what was approved by IDOT. So even if we were to put these along 47 at a future date, we still have to have this light approved by IDOT. And it can't just be the decorative light, it also has to be the street light.
Right.
So there's two. So maybe a third option would be to not do every one of them, because that is an awful lot of street lights. Maybe an option is to be every other one of them. Because we have to put up the big ones. We have to put up street lights with the pedestrian light. They won't allow us just to do the pedestrian light.
And I understand that. I want street light, I want pedestrian light. It's just that
But
they're
if
so
you-
decorative, maybe.
If you look on the corner on the intersection of Hydraulic and 47,
Mhm.
you really don't need 3 streetlights at an intersection. So that's a lot of light. So maybe you put 2, or maybe you put 1, and maybe you just alternate and skip.
We can go through and make recommendations if that's the direction of the city council
And we can
scale that.
Check with IDOT and submit on one, and you can always probably pare it back once it's approved. I would,
We would have to ask.
yeah, absolutely.
Here's my,
Can you identify where the money would come from? The 300 and whatever thousand?
Well, we didn't budget for it this year. We did a 5-year budget, and this is the first we talked about it. So at this point, this is another grant that, we don't really have a proposal as far as funding goes. We're waiting to see if the city council thinks it's a good idea, and then obviously we would have to talk about it for next year. So,
And are we, I'm sorry, are we sure that there's no penalty if we are awarded this grant? I know quite a few have a penalty.
yeah, there's no penalty.
No penalty.
Typically, the ones that have the statutory requirements are IDNR, park grants, recreation grants. But the ones through ITAP and IDOT don't. So the comment that we made though at the last grant agreement for Kennedy Road was that I'm sure the grant review committee probably would look favorable on us at our next application if we applied for award and denied. But there's no statutory requirement that mandates that we would check this next.
Thank you.
as far as funds, about a third of this can come out of downtown TIP. Any lights that are in the downtown are eligible for TIP funding. I think that's about 100,000 right there, right? A third of it. Alderman Keeling?
I was just going to say, according to the memo, that some of the money can come out of the TIP, so that was what I was just going to say. And also, we're planning on putting these streetlights in. Anyway, it's just.
Eventually,
Yeah.
without the grant, to put them in, it's $870,000.
Right, so if we're going to put lights in, we may as well apply for a grant to have some help with it, because it's going to cost a lot more money than it's going to.
Yes, sir.
It must be a full moon, Diane, because we agreed twice in the same situation. So I agree. We can't have the downtown with no lights. We're trying to promote people coming into downtown using the businesses, and it can't be pitch black. According to this, the street light, there's one down all the way on the schoolhouse, and then you've got one on Fox, and then you've got one on Van Emmon, and that's it. That's grossly inadequate. We're going to have to put street lights whether we like it or not. So I'd rather have the state of Illinois pitch in for some of it, has to pitch in for the rest, and have us pitch in for 100%. So we can decide how much we'll spend later, but at this point, I think we should apply for the grant and try to get some assistance and decide how many of these lights we're going to put in.
So you're just looking for direction, so you want to go around the horn here? Jackie, yes or no?
Should pursue it.
Pursue it.
Yeah.
Rose?
I'm just torn on this one. If a third of the funding can come from the TIF, though, that'll kind of persuade me a little bit. But I'd like to see more funding come in somewhere.
That's majority.
I'm good with this, provided we can scale it back. We're not committed to the time.
That's a discussion we can have in 2 weeks. Well, you're going to apply for a grant. In the meantime, you're going to come back with some other options as far as ones we can eliminate, like taking that we have 3 at the intersection. by the city council, from nominations among the city council. So we will accept nominations. Alderman Spears,
I would like to nominate Alderman Lusamo.
do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, do we have any other nominations from the floor? Okay, you're it.
George, he's not here.
We got a vote. My candidate. Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to appoint Alderman Colosimo as Mayor Pro Tem for fiscal year 2012-2013.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hutt.
Aye.
Munns.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Present.
Uphalter.
Aye.
Wilczewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
We played several vacations. We have no public works facility report, no EPC report, no public safety, no management. Anything from the park board? No. Planning commission, we did. CPA, no report. City council report, no report. City clerk's report. City treasurer, required reporting to municipality by the police pension board. We have 5 minutes, sir.
Sorry? Each year, we're required by the state statutes to file a report with the municipality on the status of police pension. And the figures on the report in front of you come directly off the actuarial reports that we get every year. Total assets this year are $4,216,855. We had an actual investment return this last year of 11.35%, which is pretty good in this economy. Our funding ratio went from 38.2% total funded to 40.6%. And you might recall when we first started, when we first went from IMRF to the police pension, we were only funded at 15%. So while 40% may not be where we should be, or would like to be, it's much better than where we started. And the funding has to be 100% by the year 2041. So there's a few years yet to go. The other good news is we had budgeted $336,075 for the last fiscal year, or for this fiscal year, and for next fiscal year we're budgeting $440,000 for the pension. So we will be a little more toward a higher percentage. And I'll entertain any questions.
Anyone? All right. Thank you. Do we have any community and liaison reports? Yes, sir.
Two real brief. This Thursday coming up is the Aurora Area Convention and Visitors Bureau 25th anniversary event, and it's going to be over at Paramount Theater. And it's kind of a milestone for them, for the organization, and I'll be attending to take part. City administrator, and I'm not sure if the mayor is, but they are presenting awards to the contributing mayors of the different organizations, the different cities that are involved in this. That's that one there, just something coming up. Also, last night, the Ad Hoc Recreation Facility Alternatives Committee met again for the 4th time. With that meeting, there were a couple of discussions had with the YMCA about the potential for a joint venture. Summing it up, there is going to be another meeting next month. The YMCA is going back to the board to ask them some questions, bring back some more information for us. We were not able to ascertain a definitive result on what was presented. So it's going to come back before the committee for more discussion and more information. So that will be the 3rd meeting of next month. Did we set a date yet, Parks?
June 4th was what was discussed in the meeting, so that is on a Monday, so.
Yeah, I think so. As of now, it appears it'll be June 4th, 7 p.m. We'll be bringing that back before the meeting for additional discussion.
I will not be attending the convention bureau, so you will park and fight over to accept the award for the city. Any other community and liaison reports?
We're cleaning up the riverfront. Every employee that comes from NICOR, NICOR is going to contribute $100 to Push for the Path. And I think, Laura, there's about 100 of them.
Yeah, over 100.
Over 100 employees that are coming. So that's going to be an exciting day. So come on down to the riverfront and help. They're doing the islands too.
So it's a big deal for NICOR. They're doing a community day all across the nation. And, I met with them yesterday, so they are excited about it. And that's a good showing, over 100 employees in their own time.
That is who Darlene McHugh works for. And so I think they're doing it because they're not doing it on her, which I think is very awesome.
Any other reports, Brian?
Yeah, just briefly, Chris and I had a board 3 meeting last Saturday with Rush Copley, and only had 5-6 people, but a couple good points came out of it. Everybody there was still been ticked off that we have special gas prices in Yorkville still for some reason. It's $3.99 here, you go down to 5 miles, it's $3.74. And there's been some mayors of other towns recently saying, hey, don't get gas in my town because they're gouging us. I don't know what Shell and BP think they have, is better gas or something, but I personally do not, unless I'm running out of gas, I'll keep going somewhere else. Because it's, I don't know if you talked recently, I know our dad way back in the day. If people stop going there, sales go down, the price go down. But it was kind of it. And then the other thing was a senior woman there really wanted everybody to know that the senior center feature is there for everybody. There's resources that even if you're not a senior, they can help you. She was really kind of passionate about making sure we keep that thing going and provide a lot of services for people that aren't necessarily seniors. So the seniors have a nice place to hang out with friends and do something great.
Okay, thank you. I had the honor of having lunch with Senator Durbin this last week. Metro West invited about 5 or 6 mayors to sit down with Senator Durbin to talk about the Marketplace Fairness Act and the transportation bill that is chugging along in Congress. Interesting meeting. The first time I met him. I see him on the Sunday morning shows, but not what I expected. He was a nice guy. No, he was very pleasant to talk with, so we had about an hour lunch. Any staff reports?
No reports.
Any additional business? Sure.
Just one point I want to clarify. This evening we did have the public hearing on the electrical aggregation plan. It was our second public hearing. And we did have a vote on that for approving the electric aggregation plan. So that's one point that we did have that on the agenda. It did not go through, but it was the second hearing of that. That was the point where it was that we are not in the process of doing that unless it's absolutely necessary.
One thing I wanted to point out is I got my tax bill this week. And then Thomas, Yorkville's portion went down 30%. That was nice to see. Can't say that about all the other taxing districts, but
They say the county went down a little too. My city went from $5.50 down to $37. The county went down a little, and something else was a little shot.
moves. Good to see. Sir. Okay, anything else? No executive session?